A short walk from one of the world's most beautiful, isolated beaches, up a peaceful country lane, lies Pacifica. The campus nestles among old-growth oaks, between the mountains and the sea on the central coast of California, a few miles south of Santa Barbara. Renowned depth psychologist James Hillman, who has mentored us since our early days, describes the site as blessed. Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Eisenstadt, and I'm the founding president of Pacifica Graduate Institute. Pacifica grew out of a community counseling center located here in Santa Barbara in the mid-1970s. Our intent was to take what we had learned in the community and bring that into an academic setting. Since then, Pacifica has evolved a way of working with students and their communities, a way of working that is interwoven with the humanities and culture. Pacifica is now the leading depth psychology school of its kind, unique in both its teaching and its approach. Depth psychology has its roots in the work of Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud, who called attention to the importance of what lies below the surface of conscious awareness. That work has been carried forward by scholars like James Hillman and Joseph Campbell, who have fashioned a psychology that draws on the insights of religion, literature, art, and mythology.
Here, students are still learning the ways of working with people that really honor the suffering that people go through and try to understand it from an intrapsychic level, individual level, a familial level, and also a cultural level.
Pacifica is not just about, and not primarily about, information or being bright. It also means about going deep and taking that knowledge and the information and in an alchemical way finding the gold that's in it, the wisdom.
We offer PhD courses in depth psychology, clinical psychology, and mythological studies. We also offer master's degrees in counseling psychology and mythology. While pursuing these degrees, our students receive a sweeping, well-rounded education. In 1997, we received accreditation from the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, putting us on par academically with many of the nation's major universities.
I looked into a lot of alternative schools, and a lot of them seemed very spiritual, but I didn't feel that they were grounded enough. And coming from a pretty traditional undergraduate program in New York City, I really wanted the academia as well as the spiritual and depth psychology side. I like that Pacifica's been around for about 30 years. I like that it's grounded, it's got a foundation, and the teachers are all really strong.
It's rigorous academically. It's well grounded in academic and literature, in the academic arts and in literature and that kind of thing. So it's a really, they walk a good balance between traditional and something a little more esoteric in depth psychology and archetypal type mythology.
Our faculty members take a deep personal interest in their students, who are treated as equals in the quest for knowledge.
They're not just teachers residing in an academic realm and talking about the intellect, so they're very passionate about what they do.
When you're in class, the professors are very engaged in conversation with the students, and it's not just a didactic presentation. So as a student, you have an opportunity to really engage with the professors and talk to them. And that's not only in class, but that's outside of class.
I like to create a very interactive atmosphere. In my classrooms, we usually sit in a circle or a semicircle. We create what I call a sacred space where people can really dig deep into soul questions. So the way I like to look at it is that we learn from one another in these classes. Everyone brings with them so much richness.
Colleagues, I think, are always people who walk with one another, you know, and share experience and knowledge. And I really get that sense from my professors, you know. They're not walking in front of me or in back of me, or they're, you know, we're really walking together.
And then there's a human quality in all the professors, so it's sort of like, oh, okay. They're just regular people, and I'm a regular person too, so I can do this.
I think what I ultimately try to do in terms of my teaching is to create some sort of rupture. And it's in that breakage from normality or routine that they're able to see something quite unique about themselves.
It can't just be about my ideas as a teacher. It needs to be about each person's ideas. In a way, we're kind of making a quilt with each other.
At the end of a class and at the end of a course, I want people to feel like something important happened. Agreements or disagreements, irrelevant. Something happened and something shifted in them.
I try to bring out a specific kind of attitude, and that is an attitude that encourages people to get in touch with what it means to live one's life and to do one's work with soul in mind.
Our programs are invigorated by the presence of the Joseph Campbell and Maria Gimbutas libraries. Any Ivy League university would have jumped at the chance to house Campbell's books, but the eminent scholar, who is a longtime friend of our campus, and his heirs chose Pacifica after his death in 1992. Our students spend 3 days in residence at Pacifica each month, and in most programs a week together during the summer. Traveling from all over the world, they learn together in a collective experience of study, growth, and community. They eat their meals here on campus, and many room together as well.
They can live at home, stay in the jobs that they're in, stay with their families, and then once a month, for a 3-day period, they make what I call a pilgrimage out of that familiar world into this kind of magic, mythic terrain.
Just to do something for myself, to be stimulated for intellectually and spiritually for 3 days. It really makes me feel full.
And it really has that feeling of like you're stirring things up within yourself and with each other.
It's a safe place in terms of that people can explore their own inner psychic development, and where their personal growth, their spiritual questing.
For me, I leave chaos and come here, so for me, the getting away part is great.
Well, 3 days is like an alchemical chamber. You are immersed in a series of days of learning. You are in community with your fellow students, with the faculty. You share lunches together, and it has a certain kind of heated intensity to it. That allows for a lot of things to percolate in the moment. And then you go away, and you have time for things to settle down, cool down a bit, reflect.
Pacifica's academic strength is based on a comprehensive curriculum that emphasizes real-world experience. In the clinical program, students are immersed in a blend of Jungian analytic, psychoanalytic, and imaginal psychology. To clinical chair Alan Bishop, it's a powerfully innovative approach.
One of the models of our curriculum that I feel the best about is that of a very strong rope that contains 3 separate strands intimately woven around each other. And those strands are the psychoanalytic traditions, the Jungian analytic traditions, and the archetypal psychology traditions. They are the prima materia of our philosophical foundations, and each of our students is exposed to these 3 strands that come together internally to make them the most resilient of clinicians.
Academic innovation has been at the heart of Pacifica's mission from the beginning. Catherine Brown talks about the genesis of our master's degree counseling program.
The master's program in counseling psychology has the distinction of being the first graduate program offered by Pacifica in the mid-'80s. This was a bold and innovative move on Pacifica's part. They created a counseling psychology program that not only offered students a deep background in the traditions of depth psychology, but provided them with a strong foundation in clinical and counseling skills.
Innovation even reaches into our dissertation requirements. In the mythology program, as Patrick Mahaffey explains, students choose from 3 unique dissertation options.
One of those would be a theoretical style dissertation. A second option is a social science style dissertation involving human subjects as part of the data. And thirdly, we have a very innovative option called a production style dissertation, which would mean, for example, that a person could write a novel or a screenplay or produce a compact disc, as well as a theoretical piece that complements it.
In the depth psychology program, as Mary Watkins explains, efforts are being made to understand psychotherapy from a cultural as well as an individual perspective.
Individual psychotherapy can't be the only mode of healing that's offered in our culture. It's not available widely. It's not even appropriate for a lot of the kinds of issues and suffering that people experience. So we're trying to think, how do we create really new modalities of healing within communities that aren't set off by kind of diagnostic, pathologizing sorts of definitions.
It doesn't hurt that both campus locations are breathtaking, with California coastal weather year-round.
In the ancient healing traditions, the Asclepian healing traditions, the ideal setting for healing was between the hills and the ocean. And here we are.
There's a tremendous energy here, but it's calm energy.
It's incredible. It's when I come here, even though it feels like I'm coming for school and I've got to be working hard, sometimes it feels like a retreat.
Every time you're just driving up the coast and arriving here, there's that sense of the world falling away and you're going into another place.
It gives me an opportunity to do the work that I need to do in terms of getting licensed and getting my degree, but to do it in an atmosphere that really honors the spirit. That's really rare.
One of the greatest benefits we offer is the chance for students to meet like-minded individuals. They come from a variety of professional and intellectual backgrounds because they are interested in changing a career or enhancing an existing career. For some, there is a sense of recapturing something educationally that they missed early on. For others, they come to capture a long dormant dream.
The people who come to Pacifica all have really amazing experiences and life tales, and I think this place draws those type of people, and so you kind of come together with like minds in a way.
There's such a diversity of backgrounds, belief systems, doctrines, whatever you want to say, and there's a wonderful respect that we all have for each other.
So here they have a small community in their own little learning group. It's from anywhere from like 18 to 25 people that they're traveling through all their classes with for the 3 years. And over those 3 years, they get to know each other very deeply.
This environment creates a nice core circle where you feel comfortable and relaxed, and that's something missing, I think, in this world.
There is a real sense of community that develops here. And students keep those bonds way beyond their coursework and dissertations.
This is a place that connects. You know, it's very, it would be, you couldn't really do this by yourself, and we're not meant to.
It feels incredible. It's like when we're apart, there's something missing, and then when we get back together, there's a whole.
They learn from one another as much as they do from books or the instructor.
I not only come here to learn, but I know that I'm coming here to make lifelong friends.
At graduation, Pacifica students celebrate the satisfaction of accomplishment and a new kind of beginning.
I feel still like I got so much more than I gave.
Well, Pacifica for me is truly the gift that keeps on giving.
I can't begin to tell you how the depth that we shared with each other. Pacifica has definitely been transformation, but not so much transformation into somebody new and different. For me, it's really been transformation and a journey back to who I really started out in the first place being.
And what a gift it is to be part of a community and part of a school that encourages each of us to have the freedom to bring our essence into the world.
They also look back on the rare chance they had at Pacifica to make friends, meet colleagues, and attend to their inner work.
I think I've seen a lot of things about myself that I took for granted before, and it's really, it's good to see that this school brings out the best in you.
So it's permeated every aspect of my life, all my relationships, my work. It's so much more than just school.
Yes, they do come to get a degree, and in the process of getting their degree, they also want to become as authentically whole as they can be. And I think that's what makes the program so unique. For instance, in the psychological studies programs, I think what we are doing is we're creating psychotherapists who go out into the world being very much in touch with their own psyche. And of course that makes for a better psychotherapist.
I chose to come here because I'm working on my life's purpose. And my life's purpose includes coming here.
You know, I've loved every second of being here. It's just been a most transforming experience for me.
People come here and they are challenged to continue the transformation that probably led them here in the first place.
Pacifica's motto is Anima Mundi Calende Gratia. It means, for the sake of tending the soul of the world. At Pacifica, the organic vegetable gardens and the scores of fruit trees echo the deeply felt commitment to the psyche, to the soul of the world. Our biggest gift to the world, though, is our students. They become unusually insightful therapists, writers, scholars, counselors, thinkers. They become emissaries of the idea that the psyche must be approached with care and understanding. Ours is a place where lives change, perspectives shift, consciousness deepens, and souls are tended.